everybody, Mr. Traveler here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Friends, if we can help you book that dream vacation to help you make great memories for you, your family, and friends, and do it at an affordable price, please make sure you give us a call at 877-697-4470. And if you would be so kind, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when we upload videos or go live. Now, let's jump into today's topic. So I was scrolling through the book the other day and I saw a video about a person's client, I think it was their client, that was on the Star of the Seas that went down and registered a complaint about having an obstructed view balcony on board the Star of the Seas. Now, I figured that we know of a similar experience on board the Star of the Seas, so I'd like to make my own video and talk about it and to get your input on the story. I say that we have some good input on it because that customer was us. So anyway, first of all, before we get all the comments, please make sure you watch the video all the way through so you can get all the facts of why we were, I'm going to say complaining, but we brought it to the attention of customer service about the obstruction on our balcony. Please make sure you watch the video all the way through so you can understand why we did so. Anyway, let's take a look at the obstruction that is being talked about. Here it is. And we went to get services about this, but our cabin should be listed as an obstructed view balcony. Because look at this. Can you see this? This is a window washing machine.
This is what we've been looking at for 7 days.
And this is its permanent location. So I'm going to turn this back on us.
It's a bit of an eyesore.
Turning that back on us. Okay, you can go back over here. Yeah, so this and the cabins directly below it should be listed as obstructed view balconies. We went to get services and just, asked them to send notes back to the mainland to get them some feedback on it. It should be listed, I think, as in an asterisk on there saying, you may obstruct. It's not super bad, but when you're trying to film, it's hard for us to get this tight shot without getting that in there. So
Mr. Traveler is a stickler about the way he books cabins, and he does the best he can for our clients. And if they don't tell us it's obstructed, he don't like that. So we're in this cabin right now. We're in
12564.
12564, and just know if you book this particular cabin, you will see the cleaning machine
or
here.
Any directly below it and the ones directly on the other side.
Yes.
This is window washing equipment that's on board the Star of the Seas. It's on both sides of the ship. It's at the front of the ship. We are in cabin 12564, and the mechanism actually extends down from deck 12. It starts at deck 12. That cabin actually has the balcony glass, actually half of it is a door. So when they're going to use that equipment, they open up our balcony like a door and go outside of the ship to get onto this equipment. That equipment also extends down the ship, probably down to maybe deck 9 or possibly 8, as I look down over the side of the balcony. And it's on both sides of the ship, starboard and port side. So let's give some history on this. So if you go on to a quantum class ship, let's say, for instance, they have categories 1E and 2E on board the ship, which are labeled obstructed view balconies. 99.9% of the time, these balconies are going to be less expensive, and many times much more less expensive than a standard ocean view balcony. The only thing that's really blocking the view is the lifeboats are on the deck below, and you're looking over the top of the lifeboat. So when you go out on your balcony, you can't necessarily look straight down, but it is not obstructing your view at all going forward and to left and right. You can still see, whatever it is you want to look outside. It's just, it obstructs your view from looking down. On the Icon class ships, they do not have, and especially the Star, they do not have a obstructed view balcony category. And okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Now, much like the other case that I read about we also booked a guarantee balcony cabin. We didn't have that at first. We had a category D4 balcony, which is what this 12564 is. But we ended up switching because there was a significant price drop throughout the booking. And so we switched to the guarantee rate. Now, if you read the fine print with the guarantee rate, what that fine print says is that you may receive an obstructed view balcony. Okay, so we went down to guest services to talk about it, and of course that's the first thing that they brought up. And I brought it to the gentleman, and then this is the purpose of my video on here, is that I don't necessarily have a problem with the obstructed view on there. You know, it is what it is. We like to film out there sometimes. We just filmed around it. It was a little inconvenient, you know, but not a super huge deal. My bigger problem was, and what I tried to explain to the customer service rep is that, listen, I am a travel agent. I book travel for people. And so part of that is knowing and understanding where good locations of cabins are on board the ship. Now, this is a category D4. It's not an obstructed view balcony category. And if I book somebody into that cabin with an ocean view balcony, you know, the customer thinks that they're getting an ocean view balcony, and they go out there and they see this window washing equipment, guess who's going to get a phone call? And to be honest with you, I wouldn't blame them, because if I booked a category ocean view balcony and I walked out there and the window washing equipment was smack in the middle of my view, I would probably be a little bit upset too. So my point to customer service is, if you're not going to create a category of obstructed view balcony on board this ship, then it at least needs to be mentioned in your ship maps. And as you can see here, this is directly from the Royal Caribbean website where we as travel agents book our rooms. Here's the description, and nowhere in this description does it say that this is an obstructed view balcony. They even have in the menu onto the side, they have an icon for obstructed view rooms, but they have not applied that to cabin 12564 or the cabin that is directly on the other side of the ship that has the same problem with the obstruction. That is my problem with Royal Caribbean. And I brought it to their attention. So full transparency, we weren't necessarily asking for anything, but we did get compensated future cruise credit towards another booking. It was 10% of the fare that we paid for that Star of the Sea sailing, and we can apply that for another sailing. But you know, that's not something that we necessarily asked for when we went down there. My thing is more or less giving them the knowledge that they need to fix this issue right here, because if people book a cabin looking for an ocean view balcony cabin and they walk out onto that out onto the balcony and see that window washing equipment, you know, some people don't care. They don't really maybe not go out their balcony very often, but trust me when I tell you, we deal with customers all the time. I guarantee you there will be customers that are going to complain about it, and evidenced by the other video that I saw on Facebook with the exact same issue. And I was like, wow, this is, you know, I wasn't necessarily going to make a video about this till I saw that, and I said, wow, this is really kind of a hot topic. So I wanted to get your thoughts on there about this subject below. You know, like I said, I don't think that they necessarily need to create an obstructive view balcony category because there's not a lot of them on board the ship, but I think they definitely need to put it into the menu of the ship maps for Royal Caribbean, so people understand if they book this cabin that they're going to have that issue. And what'll end up happening is a lot of people won't pick them, and those cabins will go to the people that have done guaranteed cabins. They'll get automatically selected into those. So anyway, that is my 2 cents on what happened on board the Star of the Seas with an obstructive view cabin. So what are your thoughts? Do you like saving money by getting obstructive view cabins? Because Royal Caribbean is not the only one that has them. There's plenty of, listen, there's obstructive views cabins on ships, specifically more of the older ships, where the lifeboats are like smack in front of your balcony or smack in front of your picture window for the ocean views. Like the Pride of America we just got off, they have obstructed ocean view cabins. The lifeboats are right there. You might be able to peek around a little bit, but they're right there. So do you mind the obstructed view? Help you save a couple of dollars? A lot of people don't. Some people just get on board the ship and they're just use those cabins as a a place to lay down. They're off and running any other time. Some people like us, we enjoy our cabins. So I would say it's split use time, right? Half the trip we're enjoying the ship and the amenities, and half the trip we're really enjoying our cabin. We might spend a good sea day in there and watch movies and just sit back and enjoy and relax and enjoy the cabin. So anyway, comment below, let us know what you think. And as always, we appreciate you watching. Hey, life's short. Have fun. Get on out there and see the world, everybody. Bye, everybody.